What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the JC Wings May 2025 releases. These releases have been out for a few days, but I've been waiting for some graphics this time, just seeing if they would get them out, and they posted them on Instagram, but I'm going to try and see if I can find a retailer that has them up for pre-order. And it looks like I did find Aviation Retail Direct again, but they don't have any photos up, but thankfully we got the graphics so we can refer to that later. Without further ado, let's get started. And the first release that we have is our 1 to 400 batch. We have the Air France A310. Very nice. So I wonder if that will be using a new mold or the old mold, like the one we saw with the Emirates from Gemini jets. We have a Qantas A330-200 in here as well. Very good to see that. Should be the new livery, I would think, but maybe they'll do the old livery. And we have the Garuda Indonesia A330-300 with the Pikachu special livery. Korean Air 748, that will be the new livery, so good to see another manufacturer. You got plenty of options. We've got Phoenix doing theirs. I'm guessing NG will probably announce one too if they haven't already. I don't think they haven't done the new one yet. They've done 3 of the old livery, but none of the new livery yet. Okay, moving down, we have the ANA-8Q400 in here. Very good. Very good for our Japanese friends. And then a Canadian MAX 8. This one is the Sunwing Airlines example. And that looks to be all the pre-orders that they have up right now. So let me check and see if they are in a specific brand area. So if I go to the JC Wings area, yeah, I'm not seeing any of the new ones, so I guess we'll have to rely on the graphic, which is on Instagram. But let me see if they have a Facebook page, because I don't want to use Instagram because I'm using this on my iPad, and obviously there's no dedicated Instagram app, so I can't really work with that, so I need to see if they have another place for these graphics. All right, so let's run through the releases real quick again, so just going to zoom in on the part of the screen here. So we've got the Sunwing Max, there's the ANA Q400. Very interesting E7A right there. I think that might be, I don't know if it's like a Japanese or Chinese Air Force or something, probably like Japanese, but I don't know for sure. Then the Qantas, that's in the old livery, so that's pretty interesting there. There's the Korean Air new livery, Garuda Indonesia. Also got a Kuwait Airways A321neo in here, and a Lufthansa A340-300. So those are marked as future releases. And then moving up, there's the Air France JAL 762. That's cool. Ooh, UT Air. We've got a new aircraft type here, I believe. That might be an Antonov of some kind. I'll have to look. There's a text list out there as well that I'll grab too. SAS ATR 72 in the old livery. We got a Vietnam 787 with a very special livery. I like that design there on the back. And then there's a C919 there for, I believe that's China Southern, I want to say. And then a Hainan 789 with a flaps down release. So a lot of this is future stuff, as you can see. And we only have one post for 1 to 400 and also for 1 to 200. Lufthansa A310 in the old livery. And then an ANA Business Jet 737-700. We've got City of Everett in this release as well for our 200 friends. Air China 737-700, a Red Flower special. Then we have a Condor A320 with the red tail. And a Prime Air 763. Wow, okay. Interactive as well. So Gemini has said that they will not do Prime Air because they have been told that they cannot release their models publicly. So they've only been made for Prime Air themselves, which is a bit unfortunate, but maybe that someone else will do it at some point, who knows. Singapore A340-500 and then another Korean 748 new livery. So both scales getting the new livery treatment. Aeromexico 737-700 in the old polished livery, flaps down being included. KLM 95 years MD-11, wow. So this was right before they retired the type because they had them up to like 2014, I remember. And there's that Mexican DHL Saab 340, pretty cool to see that. And then an SAS CRJ 900. So that is the JC Wings releases for the May 2025 period. And I'll just grab the text list just to verify what we all have here. There's also a Ryanair 737-800 in the just regular Ryanair livery, so it's 1 to 100 scale with the stand. Oh, Lufthansa is an A300. Okay, so my apologies on that. It's an A300 there in the old livery. And then the 737-700 for ANA, that's an ER variant, so not very many of those produced. And then just looking through everything else, looks pretty good to me on the 1 to 200 side. 1 to 400 side, so it's a South Korea Air Force, so that was the E-7A that I saw, South Korea Air Force. And then the UT Air Aviation, that's an Antonov AN-24B. So it's kind of similar to the Antonov 26, which we saw Gemini release one of, the Cubana, which is a pretty cool model. I have that one. And then we have the Vietnam 789, the special livery name. I am not going to try to pronounce that. And then the China Southern, there's that Comac C919. That is another special livery. Haiku 789 for the Hainan, and then the Kuwait A321neo, old livery Lufthansa A340, so that the yellow logo and the blue tail in there. And I guess for some reason, the City of Everett and the two Air China 737s, it's brown peony. I said it as a red flower. That's obviously not correct. For some reason, those three, they're marketed as do not sell to Chinese mainland. And then the Boeing house color also, in addition, do not sell to Hong Kong and the Taiwanese markets. So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that, but just something to note there. But everything else looks pretty decent. And then the UT Air Antonov 24, that doesn't have antennas. Everything else is labeled with antennas in 1 to 400, and then everything in the larger scales are labeled with the stands. So decent release from JC Wings. Nothing that I would personally buy right away. Maybe that Prime Air if it was 1 to 400. Hopefully they do that, because the Phoenix ones are pretty much impossible to find. And then the Gemini ones, you would only see them if someone is reselling it on eBay. Those are the only times they ever appear publicly. But otherwise, good luck getting a Prime Air 767 right now. So maybe somebody needs to do that. NG, I think, would be a good subject for that as well, despite the deficiencies that mold has had, from what I understand. I know the winglets have gotten some criticisms lately. But as for everything else, the rest of the mold looks really good. So we'll see if they make the necessary adjustments to that. We've got a good grind going with new releases. A lot of videos coming out this week, especially with the new releases, because everybody's just throwing their stuff out here at the end of the month as we head into May. I'm going to have In-Flight 200 releases out on Thursday, the first day of May, so you can check that out then. But for now, that will conclude today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.